to this auspicious, we got a lot of preachers in here, so I need to use some big words, auspicious occasion. As many of you all know, my name is Lee May, and I'm the interim CEO here in DeKalb County. And I'm really thankful that you all have chosen to spend some of your time here with us here today for this A.A.C.T.S, DeKalb Community Luncheon. A.A.C.T.S, as many of you all know, is African American Churches Transforming Society. And this is the vision, the brainchild of our own Pastor Jasper Williams of Salem Bible Church. And I'm thankful that all of you all are here today for a number of reasons. Number one, it's difficult to get such busy people in one room together, such brilliant people in one room together, such influential people in one room together. And you all have come together for this occasion. Many of you all don't even know what this is about. Jasper called and you came. I sent a video email out and you said, well, let me see what's going on. You know, but I'm thankful that you all have come in, and I don't believe that your time will be wasted here today. I really believe that this is a moment in time where we can have some fruitful conversation that would truly impact the future of our county and of our region as well. And just as the name says, transforming society, because we truly need to transform what we know as DeKalb right now. And we have so many tremendous people in here. I mean, I can go on and name and name and name. We have DeKalb County government employees, from police to sheriff to marshal's office to infrastructure, people in infrastructure to everything that you can think of in DeKalb County, public safety. If you work for DeKalb County, if you get a DeKalb County paycheck, wave your hand. Wave your hand. We got Parks Department represented. We got our COO here and others. Now, we got a whole bunch of elected officials here as well. Now, I want you to stand. If you are elected, I want you to go ahead and stand and be acknowledged so that everyone can see who is here. We have our school board represented, school board member Vicki Turner. Here we have our Clerk of Superior Court, Deborah DeBerry, our Solicitor General, Sherry Boston, my mayor, even though I don't live in the city of Lithonia, I live in Lithonia. Deborah Jackson is here. Our DA, Robert James, is here. Y'all sat down too quick because that's why I had you stand up so I could see who was here. If I just missed you and you stood up, and I'm gonna get to our, see, I gotta give a special discussion for my commissioners now. We got, I don't know, we call it a double duo now. We got two Commissioner Johnsons on the Board of Commissioners. Now, I just realized that last week. We have our newest commissioner, which I'm super excited because she's my commissioner, Commissioner Marita Johnson here, that is representing District 5. That's mostly Lithonia, some of Stone Mountain, some of Decatur, and then the longest serving Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Larry Johnson, Commission District 3, he has mostly Decatur, City of Atlanta, DeKalb as well. So it's really an honor that y'all are here, and I just want to bring just a few comments. You know, Pastor Williams brought a lot of people together at the Commerce Club a few months ago, and just really pulled leaders from around the metro region, political leaders, pastors, influential pastors. I think I calculated, maybe this is just, you know, political math, but of all the pastors that were represented there, I wanted to say they represented maybe 200,000 members. That's the kind of, you know, leadership that was pulled into that room. We had just about every major political leader in the region there. City Council President of Atlanta was there. I think Chairman John Eves was there, Richard Oden. Former elected officials were there as well, and it was just a dynamic experience. And just you know, Pastor Williams really poured out his heart about the things that he wants to see done in our community, where our youth are concerned, where public safety is concerned, where education is concerned. And so it's not an accident that you are here. here today. Again, we have so many members of the law enforcement community here, so many members of the education community. I'm extremely excited, you all, by the new leadership that we have in our school system. You know, our school board has been doing some tremendous things, and they are progressing. We have our now former school board school superintendent, Michael Thurman. He's here. Where is Michael? I was gonna say stand up, but you know, who did a tremendous job guiding our school system, you all. Let's give him another round of applause for that. And you gotta highlight the things that were done, the progress that was made, and we acknowledged him at the Board of Commissioners, gave him a proclamation. This past Tuesday was Michael Thurman Day in DeKalb County. So he got a chance to speed all throughout I-20 and all that other good stuff. But the good stuff that has happened in our school system, the progress that has been made. When he came on board and when our school board really came on board, they had a negative reserve of $14 million. Negative, that's red, negative. You know, when he's leaving, they have a surplus of about $80 million. That's tremendous. There is no better characteristic of a leader than how they handle the taxpayers' money. Even you preachers, how you handle your members' money. And that's surely a sign of that. I mean, there was an article that came out about the graduation rate that came out. Now, the article didn't read too well, right? It didn't look like there's been progress. But the way that I read the article, and I read the data, I think it says something like our graduation rate for our seniors last year was about 75% or so. And as of this past year, the graduation rate increased to 84.5%. Now that's real numbers. That's progress, y'all. That's progress. So yeah, you can say 1 out of every 6, you know, potential graduates didn't graduate, but you got to look at the progress. And see, you all are in this room because it is our total commitment that has to go on to deal with those graduates, that other 15.5% that didn't graduate. That's our responsibility, okay? It's our responsibility to engage these youth and pull them in and to mentor them and to tutor them and make sure that they have positive outcomes, you know, for their life. But so our school system is moving in the right direction, but I'm excited that we have now new leadership here. Dr. Stephen Green. I wanted to acknowledge him. Go ahead and stand up. You all, if you haven't met him, shaking his hand here, you need to do that here today. You know, because he is now taking a baton that was given to him by the school board and by former Superintendent Thurman, and it's taken and it's going to take us to higher heights. And I'm excited about that. But you all, we have so much, and so far we have to go. We have to address the issues with our youth. We created, as a county, for the first time, an Office of Youth Services. You know, primarily because we realize out of all the things that we do as a county, you know, we have an Office of Human Development. You know, human development is from the cradle to the grave. But we gave a tremendous focus on our senior citizens in DeKalb. You know, we built senior centers and things like that. But what we realized is that we hadn't given as strategic a plan or an effort in dealing with our youth. Yes, we invest in our parks. Our parks director, Roy Wilson, is here in leadership as well. We invest millions of dollars in our parks. Yes, we invest millions of dollars in our library system, which directly affects our youth. But in terms of a strategic approach and plan towards our youth, we realized we were falling short. And so even though we're investing upwards to $26 million in things directly affecting our youth, we needed to have a more strategic approach. So we have our manager of that office here, Carriana Turner. She's a preacherette. She has her Master's of Divinity from Candler, place I got my MDiv from as well at Emory University. But she's leading that effort, and over time, she wants to definitely reach out to you as pastors, but your youth pastors is important as well with that. So we got a long way to go, but we have to be strategic. But the only way that we can do that is us working together. And that's what, you know, Jasper is going to come, Jasper Williams is going to come and talk at some point later about the things that we can do to make sure that we work together. One of the things that is one of my big aspirational goals for DeKalb County, you know, I'm a big supporter of universal pre-K, Dr. Green. I want to figure out how we can help get us there in partnership with the school system. That's a political decision, a budgetary decision that has to be made with the school system and other partners, and we pledge our support, you know, in that. But another thing that we can do in this room is figure out how we can support our youth after they get out of school, because, you know, the times that they get out of school is where the real challenges are for many of our youth. You know, our school, they get them, they teach them, they educate them, they try and be mom and daddy, auntie, uncle, and everything during the day, but then when they get home, we don't know what is going on. And so I would love to see a universal approach on after-school care for our youth across the county, where every student in our school system has the ability to go to a facility free of charge. Now, that's tough, free of charge, where they can have that additional care, helping them academically and things. And we have a number of pastors that are in this room that came together to begin that approach. And they have been working diligently over time to do that. But we want to expound on that and make it universal. So I'm letting you all know that, because that's more of an aspirational goal that we want to see. But you all, as pastors, you got two major things that nobody else has. You got facilities, you got big churches with a whole lot of classrooms, big gyms, number one. And number two, you got people. You got volunteers. You got people that can show up, they can mentor, they can educate, they can tutor, they can do these things. And if we come together, I believe that we can realize that goal and really build a better framework around our youth to help support them and do the things that we're doing. So one of the things as a government that we are responsible for is building a business-friendly, you know, environment throughout the county. Now, you all, you know, see pockets of areas in our county that are prosperous. They are growing. Major development going on. And then you see other pockets that you don't see much, but liquor stores, check cashing places, fast food, you know, shops, check cashing places, you know, things like that. It seems like that's the only thing in certain pockets that the kind of development that is going on. And we are being, you know, the governing authority, the Board of Commissioners and myself as interim CEO, working hard to really spur economic development around the county. You know, what's the tallest building in South DeKalb, you all? The jail is the tallest building in South DeKalb County. Now that's unacceptable, and y'all know that. And we are working diligently in this, you know, to make sure that we have development going on throughout the county. And there's something particularly that we know can help to spur development, you know, along other corridors, you know. Right next to the jail, just behind the jail, there's an opportunity for DeKalb to be the host of a Major League Soccer headquarters and training facility. You know, that's before the Board of Commissioners. Now, y'all seen reports. It's funny because guess what? When they were reporting about it, DeKalb's name was nowhere in the conversation. You heard Marietta, Cobb, City of Atlanta, Douglasville, DeKalb County, because nobody thought that soccer would want to come to DeKalb County. Now, for whatever reasons, I'll leave that to you all. But we've been in talks, and if the Board of Commissioners can seal this deal, we got 2 commissioners here now, and I know where they stand on it, and they're just smiling now, because I know how supportive they are, you know, on that. But that's an ability for us to really bring jobs and positive development to our community, that can spur development, that can directly benefit many of you all and the members that you represent here today. So I'm just, again, thankful for you all coming here. This is truly a team effort. Pastor Williams, we will partner with what you want to move forward with and making our community safer, building a better environment to educate our kids, build an environment where we can create jobs for the people all throughout DeKalb County. And that's our position here as a government here. And so I'm thankful that you all have come here and decided to come to participate and see how you can be involved in such a mission as this. So I'm gonna get out of your way right now as you all are eating lunch, and we're gonna move forward with this. I'm thankful to Georgia Piedmont Technical College for hosting us here today. We have the president here, President Jabari Samama, who is here, who is going to come and bring a presentation, greetings and a presentation, and then we will continue along with the agenda as printed. President Samama.
Thank you, Mr. CEO, and welcome to all of you to your college. This is the People's College, and I'm very proud to stand before you today as the first African-American president of this college that's been in this community for 53 years. So welcome. It is fitting that we have a meeting like this, and I want to compliment Pastor Williams and all of the county and faith leaders who put together this event and the concept. Thank God for the concept. Thank God for the visionaries. Thank God for the dreamers. Thank God for the concept people, because it's from the concept and what we dream of and what we imagine that can become real, but it starts with the concept. So thank God for those who thought of this concept. There's so many faith leaders here today. I'm sure Pastor Williams doesn't even remember when I was a young city council member in Atlanta. I would come by his church there in Atlanta, and now he and his son are doing great work here. And we can't get into calling names, but I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge my great friend Bishop Carswell. I mean, I've been through so much as a young man growing up in Atlanta, and he has been part of my growth. And I appreciate all that he's contributed to me, and I appreciate that he is still on the case here in Metro Atlanta and here in DeKalb County. So Bishop, thank you for all that you meant to me and my family. This is a special community college because we have a purpose and we have a value system, and the symbol of our college is the Sankofa bird. And many of you will know the Sankofa bird as a mythical bird in Ghana that moves forward with an egg on its back, but always looks back to make sure that no one is left behind. And that's what I tell my staff and my faculty members, and that's what we try to instill in our students, the value that as you move on up and as you move ahead, don't forget those who are left behind, and do not forget those who help you get to where you are. I am very pleased to also announce that we are already involved with discussions with the county, the law enforcement community and department in the county, as well as faith leaders, in a very important initiative that I just want to take a minute or two to share with you, because I think it's very relevant, where faith leadership, community education, and law enforcement and criminal justice come together. But before I do this, I just want to make sure that we all are aware that in this county, at this college, under the leadership of an African-American president, we have one of the few nationally accredited police academies anywhere in the United States. Just think of this for a minute. When you think about the interaction now and some of the controversy and some of the problems between the law enforcement community and our community, particularly young men of color, think about what we can do together now with a law enforcement academy in this county at this college. We are to be going around the nation now, and I've talked with Dr. Alexander about working with us to put together a national program that addresses this whole issue of law enforcement, and the African American community and underserved communities. We are to put together a program that tells us how this relationship is supposed to work in the 21st century. And Dr. Alexander spoke with me about putting together a high-level think tank, and some of you may be called upon in the near future to help us put together this think tank to talk about what would be the things that we can do collectively as a community to make sure that young black males and young black women are no longer in harm's way when it comes to interacting with the law enforcement community. So you'll be hearing more about that initiative in the near future. But the one that I want everyone to know about, because I need your help, it is called the Georgia Piedmont Advantage. And we unapologetically, because we know that we can do it, say that we can transform poverty in this community and every community in metropolitan Atlanta if we can get more and more of our young people and our unemployed adults in college. We're working with Dr. Green, and we worked with former Superintendent Thurman, and getting more and more high school students taking college courses while they're in high school. That's called dual enrollment. But right now, under the Georgia Piedmont Advantage, we have a real simple program that we believe is the best poverty-fighting initiative that I've heard of in 20 years. And here's the good thing about it. You hear President Obama saying that community colleges should be free. And I agree with him on that. But the thing that he may not know, and the thing that many of you may not know right here in DeKalb County, that under the Georgia Piedmont Advantage, we can provide essentially free education to every adult in need of higher education. And it works real simple. It's just like this. Number one, if you don't have a high school diploma, we have a unique program where we can get you involved and get your high school diploma while taking college courses at the same time. It's called Accelerated Opportunities. You have to go into one of 11 strategic industry, and these are high demand industries where there are skill shortages. And there are 11 of those. And it includes exciting areas like information technology, healthcare technology, film and media production. You talked about early childhood education. We have one of the top early childhood education programs in the state, but that is eligible as well. You can go into early childhood education. You can go in precision manufacturing. You can go into welding. These are all high-paying jobs where the industry can't hire enough workers. So that's why we're focusing this Georgia Piedmont program, not on all 45 program areas at the college, but these high strategic industries. If you agree to go into one of the high demand and high paying industries, we can pretty much guarantee that you can come to college, and with our scholarships and all the other money available, that you won't have to pay for your education. Program lasts between 6 months and 24 months. So some of the certificates we can get you out in 6 months. If you want to get an associate's degree, it will take up to 24 months. Think about this for a minute. If you are one of the unfortunate ones in our community that is unemployed or underemployed, or don't have a high school diploma, and in 6 to 24 months, you can have now a highly marketable skill in an industry where there are job shortages, and within 26 to 24 months, you can join the middle class, you can pay taxes, you can buy homes, you can experience the American dream. Already now we have about 500 students who are participating in this program. We should have 5,000. And this is where you come in at. I'm asking each and every one of you, on the way out on the table, pick up a brochure which explains in detail what I just explained in short, the Georgia Piedmont Advantage program. It tells you everything you need to know about how it works. It lists jobs that members of your church and your synagogues and your faith institutions will be able to get. Tells you how much money they can expect to earn once they get the degrees. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to pick up the literature, go to the website, and I need you to work with us as a partner. And I don't need one penny from anyone in this room. We already have the money to do this program. Governor and legislature has set aside special funding for this program. But what I do need from you is I need you to help me spread the word. I need you to help me find everyone in your family, everyone in your community, everyone in your faith institution who needs a college education. And let's get them in here. Let's get them trained. Let's get them educated. And let's get them on to experiencing the middle class and the good life that many of us in this room have been blessed by God to experience. I need you to be my marketing partner to identify those in need, and let's get them in here. There's only one fee that I can't raise, I can't waive as president. I don't know why. It happened long before I got to be president. I can't waive the registration fee. We don't call it registration fee. What do we call it? Application fee? What is that fee? $25. Out of $6,000 education, the only fee I can't waive is that $25 application fee. But some of the faith leaders, judges, DAs, county leaders, political leaders that we've talked to have said this: I'll invest $25 in someone in my church or in my community to make sure they get a $6,000 education and a well-paying job. And I hope you will join me in making sure that that $25 application fee does not become a barrier. But let's educate our community. And I assure you that with the county, with the faith leadership, with this tremendous public state community college that you've already invested in with your taxpaying dollars, working together, we can have a tremendous impact on poverty. Would you help me? Yeah. Thank you very much. Please pick up literature on your way out. And thank you for being here, and spread the word that this facility is here and it's accessible to you. Thank you very much. Mr. James, very good to see you, and welcome to Georgia Piedmont.
See you.
Again, I know you've been here before.
I have.
Come back many more times.
I have.
Now let's turn. Is it on?
I think it's on.
Okay.
Turn the mic off when I come to you.
Good afternoon. All right, it's good to see you all. Lee May has sent a message that I'm only to talk for 3 minutes. You said 5? She told me 3. I'm a trial lawyer, so I'm used to having the mic for longer than that. But I'm going to be brief. You know, most of what I do in my day-to-day life, whether you're talking about politics or in my home life or in my office, it is spiritually and biblically based. All right. And in Micah 6:8 in particular, the word tells us, all right, you know, what do I require of you? All right. He's talking to all of us. Okay. Pastor, what do I require of you? Sheriff's office, police department, CEO's office, commissioner, DA, what do I require of you? All right? All right. I've shown you what is good, is what God tells us, right? He says to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. All right. To do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. So I'm going to spend a few minutes that I have talking about justice and how justice incorporates mercy, how justice incorporates common sense, how justice incorporates moderation, because you cannot have justice without mercy, and you cannot have justice without moderation. All right? If you have a justice system that does not have mercy in it, that does not have moderation in it, then it is an injustice system. Okay?
I believe in DeKalb County, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do in the DA's office and what I've done and what we've done for generations in DeKalb County. We are moving aggressively towards having a truly just system. There are three areas of the criminal justice system. Any police officer, any prosecutor, any social worker can tell you these three areas drive what we call mass incarceration. All right, because we're dealing with a crisis in America right now, and it's a crisis of mass incarceration. Right? Anybody that can count, all right, can tell you we lock up way too many people in this country, more than any industrialized nation on the face of the earth. More than 2 million people, all right, in this country are under the auspices, under the control of the criminal justice system, whether we're talking about probation, parole, you know, down at the DeKalb County Jail or in our prison system, somewhere. And that has to change. 3 areas drive it. And so let's talk about the first area. The first area is mental health. Our jails are the biggest mental health institutions in the country. Period. That's a fact. I'm not embellishing. I'm not giving political speak. The fact is the Los Angeles County Jail is the largest mental health institution in America. All right, I was at the LADA's office and they told me the same thing when I was out there visiting. Okay, so what do? We need more mental health courts. We need more mental health treatment. We need more mental health training. One of the things that I'm very proud of, what we've done in DeKalb County, I see our public defender back there, wave Claudia, all right? Her and I and Judge Asha Jackson, some of you all may know her and I are church members. We are working, we're currently in the process, we have secured the money from the state to bring the first mental health court, all right, to DeKalb County on a felony level, all right? That's major. That is major, and so let me tell you all something real quick that you may not understand. There is a large gap between incompetent to stand trial, all right, insanity, and mental health issues, okay? You can be bipolar, you can be manic depressive, you can have all types of mental health issues and be functionally mentally ill, but you are competent to stand trial, and under Georgia law and under the law in most states, you are not insane, all right? Police lock these folks up because they don't have any other choice, quite frankly, on a daily basis. They fill our jail cells, and many of them go on and commit horrific crimes because they didn't get the treatment that they needed early on. And so it's not only a humanitarian issue, but it's also a public safety issue, okay? We just pled out a case about a year ago where a guy who had had some significant mental health issues murdered his entire family, all right? The only person that survived was his older sister, his younger brother, his younger sister, and his mom with knives. And he had had significant mental health issues for years, but they had gone unaddressed through the criminal justice system. We've got to do something about it, and I'm proud that for the first time in this county's history, we're stepping up and we are doing something about it. Now, the next area is an area that you all hear about, which is substance abuse, okay? Our jails are filled with people that have substance abuse issues. Period, point blank, end of story, all right? We've got to start making a distinction between the people that we're scared of and the people that we're mad at, all right? There's a difference between the two, all right? We have people that commit petty thefts, all right, robberies, vagrancy crimes, and when you find out these people are crack addicted, they're coke addicted, they've got all types of addictions, some of them prescription drugs, some of them methamphetamine. We can't treat these people the same way that we treat other folks. You cannot cure, all right, you cannot cure a public health issue. I'm talking to Commissioner Johnson because that's his area. You can't cure a public health issue, all right, with a criminal justice solution. It is impossible, all right? We have a robust drug court, and I'm going to point to our public defender. She's in the back, and she's been involved with that for 20 years in DeKalb County, but we need your support and resources for the drug court. What do I mean? Well, these people graduate, they get clean, but what do they need? They need jobs. They need jobs, all right? At your churches, you have employers. The government is not set up to do this. I cannot employ people, all right? They need jobs, you know, and so what I'm going to ask you to do when you leave here, you know, is contact Claudia. I'm going to leave my number. You can contact our office, and we can put you in contact with our drug court, and you can assist with that. It is a life and death issue. It's important because it's really big as it pertains to recidivism. It's important. Now, the last area, that third leg of this ugly stool of mass incarceration, we all see it, all right? It is youthful crimes, all right? And it has gone largely unaddressed in this country. And I'm really proud of what we've been doing in DeKalb. And again, you know, Superior Court's been a partner, Magistrate Court's been a partner, the Public Defender's Office has been a partner, all right? big issue. The recidivism rate, all right, for people ages 17 to 25 is 2/3. I'm say it again. The recidivism rate for people ages 17 to 25 is 2/3. That means 2/3 of the individuals that commit crimes between 17 and 25 will commit other crimes. And they get on this wheel, like my cousin who was selling crack in the 80s. You know, I grew up in that crack generation, you know, and you commit one offense and you commit another, and you go in and out, and then you turn up and you're 35 years old, all right, and you want to wear a nice suit, and you want to have a family, and you want to get a good job, and they say thanks but no thanks, because you've got 5 felonies on your record. We have got to do something about that. Now, part of what I've been doing for the last several years, I started when I was solicitor. I had a program called Jobs Not Jail that actually started from something that I got from Mike Thurman when I was running. All right, what Mr. Thurman said, he said, there is no difference between the criminal justice or the incarceration rate of black men who have jobs and white men who have jobs. All right, so what that means is that when our young people are employed, when our young people are educated, we know that they're not committing offenses at any higher rate than the people across town. And so when I became DA, we created a program called the Anti-Recidivism Court, okay? It is premised on a drug court model. We bring these young folks in, we drug test them, we subject them to all types of training. They come in and they see the judge, but we require that they get educated and that they get a job, okay? We require that they be subject to a curfew. Why is that important? Because everybody in here has got to go to bed. I went to bed last night at 10 o'clock. I've got 3 kids and 1 on the way. All right, I had to go to bed to get up and come here this morning. All right, they have to learn how to pull their pants up. They have to, you know, they have tattoos, it's not a big deal, but they have to learn how to hide those tattoos when they go on a job interview. They have to learn basic job skills that makes them employable and conflict resolution skills. That's what we do. But we don't just do it for people that have committed shoplifting offenses and things of that nature. We're doing it for young people 17 to 25 that have been caught selling crack. We're doing it young people 17 to 25 that have burglarized homes. We're doing it for people 17 to 25 young folks that have stolen cars, that have broken into cars. These are offenses that historically you would be going to prison for. We're sending these young people through this program, and what we know historically is that the people that are able to graduate from this program, their recidivism rate is ultra low. Now, what's important, the last thing I'm going to tell you, what's important about this program is that when they graduate, they get their records expunged, which means all is forgiven and is gone, and we push them towards employment. So they come to us as tax eaters, costing $55 a day in Sheriff Mann's hotel down the street, the tallest building in South DeKalb, and they leave us paying taxes. They leave us with a job or educated better than what they were before, and they don't become recidivists. We need your help with this program because I can't employ everybody that graduates. We have a graduating class 4 times a year. I need somebody that's bold enough to take on young folks that have made a mistake, that have gone through a program, and that have graduated, and that want to be employed and want to turn their life around. Because if they don't get employed, they're going to be right back out there on the corner selling crack. They're going to be crawling through your window, stealing your television. They're going to be stealing your car. And they're going to eat your tax dollars because they're going to be languishing in our jails. I need your help. I need your support. Let me give you my phone number. Everybody take it down. It is 404-371-4961. If you are interested in helping with this program, 404-371-4961, and my email address is R as in Robert, D as in, I usually don't give my middle name out, Demetrius, D as in Demetrius, James at DeKalbCountyGA.gov. We're going to be holding a job fair. Eric Burton is over here at the first table. He's going to be working with me on it later on in the fall, and that job fair is going to be for all of these programs that I just mentioned, drug court, mental health court, ARC, and I need good folks like y'all to participate in this job fair for these young people, all right? If you think it's wrong, then I need y'all to step up and do something about it. Join with me. Thank you. What's the number again? 404-371-4961. Email rdjames at DeKalbCountyGA.gov. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Robert, for that 5 minutes. Appreciate you. That was good information. Please utilize. It was 7 minutes, right? DA gets a couple more minutes than what he needs. We're going to bring up real quick. We're going to try and speed up this. We got Cedric Alexander, my deputy COO for public safety. He covers a span. Come on up here, Cedric. He covers a span of public safety functions in our county: police, fire, medical examiners, our DeKalb emergency management, as well as our medical examiner's office, and he provides leadership in there. He's going to talk for just a few minutes quickly before we bring up our leader, Pastor Jasper Williams.
Thank you, sir. Thank you and welcome. And I want the same 5 minutes D.A. James had. I like his 3 minutes. But anyway, real quickly, let me just say real briefly, thank you very much, and thank you for having me also, Pastor Williams, inviting me to this occasion here today, and I'd like to applaud you publicly for the work that you're doing and with your leadership. I'm quite sure a lot is going to get done, and a lot needs to be done as well, too, in this community and across the county, across the state, across the country. But as we all well know, we all are constantly enlightened by the fact that there is a constant dialogue and communication and sharing of information, sometime good, sometime bad, as it relates to police and community in this community and across the country. But let me say something about DeKalb, and I'm going to stay very local as opposed to going out nationally, but staying very, very locally. And I'm going to say this not because I'm public safety director, but I'm going to say it because it's very true. You really do have a great public safety department, but you don't have it as a direct result of me. You have it a direct result of the men and women, over 1,000 of them, that go out here and do this job every day. And I want you to give them a round of applause, because they really do an incredible job for us. In addition to that as well, too, we know upon sometimes we find ourselves involved in situations that create some pause, some controversy, and some concern. But I must admit that in light of all the things that are going on here and across the country, one thing we make it a point to do, and Mr. Mayor and I talk on a regular basis, and one thing that we're committed to doing is making sure we provide the very best public service that we can to this community, particularly when it comes to public safety. It has to be at the forefront of everything we do. It helps in our community development and our economic development and the pride that we carry and the pride that we all have in this county. We all want to feel safe. And I would continue to encourage each and every one of you and your friends and constituents to please continue to support your public safety in this community. It is so paramount to the growth and the development and the continued success of this county as well, too, because we really do have a terrific county. We do a lot of wonderful things, and I am so proud to have the opportunity, quite frankly, to represent you locally and nationally. And that is so meaningful to me in a great deal of ways, because hopefully when you see me, regardless you see me locally, you see me nationally, hopefully what I'm doing, I'm living up to the expectation in which we all hope to have, and I'm carrying out that mission for you. But I'm so proud to be public safety director in this county, and for the men and women that serve and go out here and do it every day and truly put their lives on the line for a little bit of money. And they don't make a whole lot of money for what they do. And I tell you, whether they're police officers or firefighters or support staff or whomever they may happen to be in the public safety arena, let's hold them dear and close to our hearts. Let's give them the respect and support that they need as well, too, so that we can continue to have a really safe community. And that also includes our partners from the other municipalities that you see represented here, whether it's Dunwoody or whether it's from the county marshal's office, wherever it may happen to be. We all are law enforcement. We all are a law enforcement community together, and our one mission and our only mission, quite frankly, whether you're in unincorporated DeKalb or whether you're in one of the 10 municipalities, is the fact we want to keep this community safe. I love this community, and we all have a special place in our heart for DeKalb, and we must not ever forget that. Even in our differences, we must not ever forget that in terms of the fact we are truly one DeKalb County. Thank you very much.
The count shows, keep standing. The count shows that there are 51 of us pastors in here on today. Brethren, sisters, thank you for honoring my request to come here this day, this hour, for this moment. God bless you. You may take your seats. Give them a big hand, will you? I'm Jasper Williams. On the 22nd of this month, I was 72 years of age. If I see the second Sunday in August, I would have been preaching the gospel for 65 years. And on the second Sunday in November, I would have been privileged to pastor Salem Bible Church for 52 years. The clip that you have just seen uniquely references some of the many disparities, ails and ills, which plague our community. When you listen to the statistics from all of the facets and phases of our community, you believe me when I tell you they are indeed startling. Black on black crime, we're all doing time. We're locked up in our mind. There's got to be a better way. We must stop this today. Let me ask you, are young black men doing the work of the Ku Klux Klan? Are they? Are they? Have we turned our communities into a war zone? Have we? Have we? Does the constituency of our community find itself all day, every day, all night, every day, every night, in the community's foxhole of war? Does it? According to a study performed and sponsored by Tuskegee Institute, the Ku Klux Klan killed 3,446 black people over an 86-year span of time. But young black men killed that many each and every 6 months. So if we double that number, that's 6,892 of our own killed by our own. If we round it off, it's 7,000 per year. That over an 86-year span of time is to say that black people would have killed 602,000 of our very own, by our very own. Yes, I know that since the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, August 9th, 2014, our race has lost at the hands of law enforcement Ezell Ford, Dante Parker, Eric Garner, Freddie Gray, and others, which are but a few of the high-profile crimes perpetuated against our people. But what about the almost 70,000 of our very own who have been killed at the hands of our very own? Black on black crime, we all doing time. We're locked up in our mind. There has got to be a better way. We must stop this today. In the area of economics, there are indeed needs as it relates to our race, our people. Prior to the civil rights movement, the systems of sharecropping, Jim Crow, and segregation forced our people to have its own vibrant economy. Believe it or not, there were times we did have our own grocery stores, we had our own restaurants, we had our own businesses, and we turned monies over in our community each and every day, again and again and again, because all we had at that time was each other. Believe it or not, all we have right here, right now, is each other. As soon as we marched and achieved our civil rights, as soon as we got the right to eat in restaurants, to go to hotels as we pleased, our economy took our fly away. Our economy became null, void. In actuality, we have no economy. Today, currently, the dollar circulates in the Asian community 30 days before it leaves the Asian community. That same dollar circulates in the Jewish community 20 days before it leaves the Jewish community. The same dollar circulates in the white community 17 days before it leaves the white community. That same dollar circulates in our community. You say 5 days, 3 days, 1 day, all wrong. 6 hours. And before you shudder, that's only the stat for 2010. According to the stat of 2013, it only circulates in our community 15 minutes. Today, African American buying power is $1.1 trillion. $1.1 trillion we spend in the African American community. There is a projection that by 2018 it would have escalated to $1.8 trillion. And yet, only 2 pennies out of $1 comes back to black-owned businesses. That means then, out of $1.1 trillion, 2 pennies out of each dollar coming back to our community means that we are the recipients of only $2.2 billion. According to the CDC, 43% of black women, 39% of black men suffer from hypertension, and many of our health disparities are due to our diet. It roots all the way back to slavery, when the slave masters generally consumed all of the lean and fleshly parts of the farm animals and left the scraps for the slaves. The enslaved Africans would eat the pot liquor and cornbread. We were forced to eat chitlins, oxtails, the pig feet, the pig snoops, the pig ears, the cow feet, and other bad foods. These unhealthy foods are still a part of the diets of many black people today. They are harmful to the body and cause chronic illnesses that plague our communities, including strokes, high blood pressure, diabetes, and of course, heart disease. And then pregnancy and childbirth among young black adolescents often result in severe adverse health, social, and economical consequences. With teenage pregnancy so rampant in our community, there is a decreased likelihood that many of our young, fine, beautiful, gorgeous girls will ever finish high school. They therefore become a higher risk of unemployment and welfare dependency. In the African American community, 5% of 12-year-olds, 10% of 13-year-olds, 20% of our children are sexually active. The proportion of sexually active girls, 14 years and younger, is increasing by the thousands. Black teenagers have the highest teen pregnancy rate in the world. In the world. In the world. As it relates to our young black men, as a race, we find ourselves in the midst of a massive breakdown of the black family, and again, there are severe consequences resulting. The absenteeism of fathers in the home has just about killed and extinct our race. Picture in your mind a young single mom has 3 lovely girls, and she has sworn that she would take care of all 3 of them the same. Each time she purchases a dress, she purchases all 3 of them a dress. Each time tennis are needed, she gets all three of them a pair of tennis. Each time ribbons are wrapped around the locks of their gorgeous hair, she purchases it for all three. And yet, neither of them has the same father. Children with no fathers are raised not only with economical but also social and psychological disadvantages. Children without fathers are 4 times likely as children with fathers to have problems academically. Children with no fathers are twice as prone to drop out of school. They are far likelier to have no moral sense of what is right, what is wrong. They are 2.5 times likelier to be sexually active. They are 3 times likelier to be on welfare when they become adults. And so when you put it all together, the common basic problem of our young African American boys and girls is waist down. Waist down. All of our young people put all of their focus and interest on that which is waist down. That means then what we need is a checkup from the neck up, because something is wrong with that. The checkup from the neck up shows that our precious DeKalb County has gotten progressively better in the past 5 years. The steady decline of teen pregnancy between 15 and 17 years of age from 2008 to 2012 are most encouraging. In 2008, our precious DeKalb County had 519 pregnancies rate per 1,000. It dropped in 2009 to 497. It dropped in 2010 to 459. It dropped in 2011 to 395. And then it dropped in 2012 to 330. The checkup from the neck up shows that only 40% of our teenage moms ever finish high school, and less than 2% of teen mothers who have a baby before they are 18 years of age ever finish college. Please, look at how the acquisition of education breaks out in DeKalb County. As of May 2014, 4,514 students graduated, and we understand it to be an 84.2 graduation rate. Though fair, good, excellent, I am thoroughly convinced that these numbers can be better. They must be better. We must make them better. And so as we look at our race today, and most especially at our children, who for no fault of their own are raised in environments where a stable father is missing, where violence is predictable, where education is eschewed, drugs are prevalent, dependency threatens freedom. Question, what should we do? What must we do? What can we do? Better still, what will we do? This brings me now to why A.A.C.T.S. What is A.A.C.T.S? A.A.C.T.S is the acronym for African American Churches Transforming Society. The purpose of A.A.C.T.S is ARA, revitalize our churches. No matter how good, great our churches are, they are not what they were. They need to be revitalize. S, strengthen our families. R, rebuild our communities. On November the 19th, 2014, at the Commerce Club, all 6 counties came together. All 6 CEOs and chairmen of all 6 counties, all chiefs of police of all 6 counties, all superintendents of schools of all 6 counties, and 2 mayors convened. It was there that I compared our people to be like that of a valley of dry bones. That when Ezekiel went out into that valley of dry bones, he heard a voice posing a question. Son of man, can these bones live? And Ezekiel answered, oh Lord God, I don't know. But you know whether or not these bones can live. I asked that room that day, filled with all of the leaders across all 6 counties, come back from Ezekiel's day to where we are now. Can Black America live? That was my question. Will we live? Can we live? And I stood there and said, I do not know, but I know that the leadership in this room across the 6 counties of Metro Atlanta know whether or not Black America can live. And so I asked them to permit me to come to them on a listening tour, that one by one I would like to sit down with them, and that I would like to ask them to give me the answers to 2 questions. 1, what do you perceive to be the greatest needs in the Black community that you serve? And 2, what do you think A.A.C.T.S can do about it? I started on my listening tour, what I thought would be just about 6 weeks, turned into a 120-day effort. I started on December the 14th, 2014. I sat down with Richard Odom, chairman of Rockdale County, one-on-one. The last chairman I met with was Charlotte Nash, CEO of Gwinnett County, March 5th, 2015. On January the 5th, 2015, at 10 a.m., I met with our illustrious and esteemed chairman, Chairman Lee May, at 10 a.m. On January the 5th, 2015, at 1:30 p.m., I met with Public Safety Director Cedric Alexander at 1:30 p.m., who said to me, and I never shall forget, Pastor Williams, it is incumbent upon you all, the church, to do something about Black America. Cedric Alexander told me those words. On January the 5th, 2015, at 12 o'clock noon, I met with Michael Thurman, then serving as superintendent of DeKalb County Schools. And then on January the 12th, 2015, I met with Mayor of Lithonia, Mayor Deborah Jackson, at 12 o'clock noon. May I say that each representative of DeKalb County met me warmly, lovingly, graciously, for which I am most appreciative. If you can imagine the difficulties that I encountered on my tour, many times I was ready to fulfill my appointment, and at the last moment, somebody would call, cancel the appointment for that day. I was forced to reschedule. Can you imagine going to a big governmental building about half a block or so long? You get to that door and you say, I'm here to see Representative whoever it was, and they say, I'm sorry, sir, you have to go back on the other side of this building, at the end to that door. Thank you, it's raining. Can I walk through this building? Sorry, sir. Security will not allow you to walk through our building. It was hurting. Those days, especially when the weather was most inclement, rain, snow, sleet at times. On my listening tour, however, I always was on time. Never ever canceled. I was never ever late. When I was on my listening tour, I never took an entourage. And the only reason I didn't was because I did not want to appear intimidating. And so I went always alone. I had in my person only a pad and a pen. And when I walked into all of the governmental officials with whom I met, I asked them those same two questions. Question one, what do you perceive to be the three greatest needs of the African American community you lead? And question two, what do you think A.A.C.T.S can do about it? It was astounding, absolutely amazing. The results are startling. Each time that I returned from an interview, I gave my notes to Dr. Mary Langley, professor of the Department of Community Health and Preventive Medicine at Morehouse School of Medicine. Dr. Langley took my notes and supplied me with a qualitative analysis of my information. Now today, we all are aware of the tensions and the frustrations that exist between police and community, be it Ferguson, be it New York, be it Miami, be it Cleveland, be it Baltimore. It could be Atlanta. It could be our precious DeKalb County. Chief Eldrin Bell worked with the community on all levels when and before he became chief of police, Atlanta, Georgia. From 1990 to 1994, Chief Bell served as chief of police. I have reached out to Chief Bell, and he has agreed to work with A.A.C.T.S as a kind of liaison between us and all chiefs of all 6 counties. Chief Bell is now also Elder Bell, a preacher, from police to preacher, from the streets to the pulpit. I present to you, in brief, Chief Bell.
Thank you, Pastor. While I'm preparing, I'd like for all of the chiefs and the police officers to please stand. Please stand, quickly. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. I honor you. After 33 years in law enforcement, starting at the bottom and going to the top, after not being able to arrest white citizens to being able to run the entire police department and be responsible for the city of Atlanta, and after that, becoming an elected official and staying there for 8 years, 2 terms. I am convinced, as never before, we need a real sense of community orientation. We cannot do this alone, not any individual, nor any individual organization. I knew that when I was chief of police and we started talking about community-oriented policing. We knew that we couldn't do it alone. But it's not just going out shaking hands and glad handing and that sort of thing. We must get down deeper and create a partnership in these 6 counties that have never been heard of before. And when we do that, they will be the path to our doors to see what we have. But the relationship must start before the crisis, and the relationship must remain during the crisis in order to provide less of an impact. We've done that in this region, so we know how to do that. And finally, when we make the relationship that meet all of those elements, it will help us sustain the community that we want to build. Police, law enforcement must play a critical element, critical part. You must not just get on television and tell us that crime's gone down. I did that, and I'm sure some of you do. Wrong. We must develop relationships where we get the community involved in our training. What are we trained to do, and how are we trained to do it? Our policies, our regulations, and our laws. A.A.C.T.S, coupled with these organizations, can do just that. Police, probation, and all of us are often there 24 hours a day, while many of our mental services, Mr. DA, go home at 5. And so we have no place but there to take them. Let me add a few more things here, and I will let you go. Yes, sir. 1, 2. One out of every 9 children has a parent in jail. 1/3 of the prisoners in Fulton County is a parent. And 1/3 of them are mentally ill. Finally, what I want to say to you is bringing us together to work honestly together will give us what we can do with genuine results for our community, and others will be the way to our door. We cannot lock up America. We cannot lock up DeKalb County to save DeKalb County.
Amen. 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 Thank you. Thank you, Chief Bell. Out of all of the 20 interviews that I had one-on-one, one particular one jumps out as most memorable. That one particular one was on January 15th, 2015 at 12 o'clock noon. I met Michael Thurman, and I have since asked him would he come aboard A.A.C.T.S and serve as a liaison between A.A.C.T.S and the 6 county school systems. Michael Thurman has agreed. Thank you. I asked him the same questions, but instead of me giving you his answer, he's here today at our request. Michael, will you join me at this platform, please? And as he comes, would you give him a rousing applause?
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank Pastor Williams for the vision, the foresight, the courage, the commitment and dedication to take on this great task. Let's give him a round of applause, Pastor. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the pastors in this room, particularly here in DeKalb County, for your prayers and your support that helped bring us through the most difficult period in the history of the DeKalb County School District. I appreciate your prayers for myself, for the men and women who work every day in the DeKalb County School District, our students, and our stakeholders. I'll say this, Pastor Williams, I'm proud of the fact that so many people around Georgia and around Metro are now praising DeKalb and the things that we've been able to accomplish. But let me tell you something, folks. There are more people who are with us now than was with us in the beginning. And my daddy used to tell me, son, don't ever count your friends when the sun's shining. You count your friends when the storms are raging, right? Don't ever count your friends the morning after you win the lottery. Excuse me, Pastor, I do play. Don't do that. Don't do that. So thank y'all so much for being with us during the tough times when it really mattered. Now, the only thing I have to say is, one of the things that we did, and I think the most important thing that we did to help to refocus and redirect the DeKalb County School District, and it surprises many experts when I talk about it. The one thing we focused on first was engaging parents in the educational process. We reached out, Dr. Green, and by the way, let me just tell you all, we got a great superintendent and he needs your support, and I pray that you all will support him. Give him a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we reached out to parents, and I know Dr. Simpson is here. And one of the things we had Saturdays, and we began to talk to parents and to see, and we found out that there were some schools that welcomed parents, and there were some schools that never wanted to see a parent. Am I right? And so, but we came to understand something, that in order to have a successful school district, you need a board that works together, that has integrity, that is honest, and is focused on children. And I believe we have that in DeKalb now. You need a superintendent who is educated and skilled and a great leader. You didn't have so much now, but there you got a good one. So you got that now. You need teachers, and you need principals, and you need paraprofessionals. But all the studies I've read tell me this, that the individuals who have the greatest impact on a child's career is not your school board member, not your superintendent, not your principal, not your teacher. Those individuals are whom? Parents. Parents have the greatest influence. And so what we began to do was that we began to recruit, to upskill and engage parents in a way that we never had before. We looked at the data. Where parental engagement is up, student achievement is what? Up. And now, let me end with this. And she said, well, how can it be so important? Parents send a powerful message. I tell parents, the one thing you ought to do when school opens in a week or so is every day you ought to ask your child what happened at school today. Now, 99.5 times out of 100, what the child gonna say? Nothing. Nothing. But guess what? It's not the answer, it's what? The question that is so powerful. You know, we understand the power of a question. We ask what was cash 3 today, don't we? And we ask because it's what? It's important. We asked what was the score at the Hawks game last night. We asked because it was what? Important. We asked how many points did LeBron James score. We asked because what? It was important. Ask the question. And what I'm working with Pastor Williams and with A.A.C.T.S is that we want to help through churches to educate our parents to be more supportive of our children. Now, I've talked about this, let me stop. Don't let my little suit today, I had a couple of preachers, Bishop Caldwell mentioned my suit. And I upskilled this morning in my dress because I knew he was gonna be here. So, but I hadn't always had this suit. And I like to tell folks, I tell children all the time now, my dad is shell-crop cotton, right? Your superintendent grew up in a house without indoor bath water. Till he was 16 years old, had an outhouse out there. Now I know y'all sophisticated folk, but I ain't the only one know a little bit about what? Outhouse. And between the sharecropping in the day and the poultry at night, because he worked at the poultry for 19 years on the night shift, Bishop. You hear me? But between the sharecropping in the day and the poultry at night, he would help me with my homework. He'd sit over by the fireplace and he'd be rod back. Y'all know what that means, right? He'd be rod back in an old wood chair looking at me, and I'd be there, Dr. Green, doing my work, and when I get to something difficult, I'd look up, he'd say, no, son, you just keep on working. So just keep on working, you can figure it out. And I think I was in middle school and I was learning to spell the states. And you know the toughest state to spell is what? Mississippi. So I challenged my dad to spell Mississippi. Michael, and he couldn't do it. commission. He couldn't do it, Larry, couldn't do it. And I laughed and made fun at him. I said, Daddy, you can't spell Mississippi. And the next day, my mother called me to her side and said, son, don't you ever do that to your dad again. So you don't know this, but your daddy can't read and your daddy can't write. And I felt bad, and then I was confused. Because if daddy couldn't read and daddy couldn't write, then how was he helping me with English? Right, I didn't know. How's he doing this? But one of the things I've learned, and you know, I see him sometimes, and I tell you, some days over there on Mountain Industrial, when I was sitting there in the superintendent's seat with 100,000 students and 14,000 employees and $1 billion budget, in the cool of the evening sometime, I look up and I swear I could see him. When we didn't have no money, we were getting ready to lose our accreditation. When everybody was arrayed against us, when people were saying bad things about it, I could still hear him say, no, son, you just keep on working. You can figure it out. So what I figured out, that daddy couldn't read and daddy couldn't write, but by his presence. Parents, buy your present. And I know you said, wait a minute, what? If you can't read, you can't write, present. How many mamas don't know nothing about football, don't know blitz, don't know two-man package, but sitting up there at Hartford Stadium, right? And all babies look up, as long as they see, that's all right. How many parents would go to classical concerts and don't know Bach and don't know Beethoven, but all your children want to see what? Is that you're present. If we help our parents to be present, which is what this man is about, he has my support. I'm following him everywhere he goes. I'll work with every superintendent I can work for, because if we help our parents to be present, we can change the direction and the future for our children. We just need your help, our parents to be what? Present with our children and present in the Lord.
That's all right, Michael.
That sets it up, brother.
Come on, give it to him. All right. Now, Terrence, you all passed the pass out. That sets everything to where we really need to be. This sets it where we need to be. Everybody take one. Dr. Langley, somebody get Mary a chair up here for me, please. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Lee. This is fine for her. She's coming on this side. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. CEO. You ready to do it now? All right. At this time, if you got it, at this time, Dr. Langley, who is a part of the staff of Morehouse School of Medicine, will come at this time and give you the breakout of what the tour revealed, which is piggybacking on what Michael Thurman has just said. Now, we'll be out of here no later than 1:35. That's all we need. It's 1:05 now. Give me that. Dr. Langley.
Okay, if you would open up your packet, you will find the logic model that was created based on the listening to the notes that Dr. Williams brought to me. A logic model allows you to look at something, as it said, logically, so to get to the impact of what you're trying. The first part of the logic model, if you would see, is called resources and input. That's what we have to put into the situation, what the resources we have. So what we have is what we're developing now, the Metro Atlanta Faith Collaborative. That's all of our faith communities in the 6 counties. We have the government as our partners and in law enforcement. And you see the counties that's listed. We did have 2 Black-owned banks, but we now have 1. And so that's Citizen Trust. We want the business community involved. And health and social agencies and institutions, that's why Morehouse School of Medicine is involved, because of the things that we've found out. And at the bottom of the logic model, at the bottom of the resources, we got grants. And the reason I put it at the bottom, because when money comes in there, commitment change, and we need to make government grants the last part of our resources. Then the strategic priorities, we took the information, and I'm not gonna go over all of it because you have it. We have some strategic priorities: family support and involvement, and also health disparities. Dr. Williams talked about the health disparities that we have in the African American community, the cardiovascular, the cancer, and all the others, which impact family, because you can't have a family involvement if the family is not healthy. Academic performance, we talked about our young people, and youth development. If you go over the key initiatives, these are just some ideas that, looking at the data that Dr. Williams gave me, that things that churches can do in the faith community. Parenting education that we've talked about, fatherhood program, talk about the absentee father, childhood-sponsored parent school involvement campaign, and health ministries, having health fairs, having initiatives around health. Outputs are the program and services that will evolve based on the priority. And outcome is change of attitude, change of behavior. Some of the outcomes is looking at the first priority is improved school climate and transparency. When parents are involved in the school climate will change. If you go on down to impact, what are we ultimately trying to accomplish if we deal with these priorities? A revitalized church, strengthen families, and rebuild healthy communities. And so you can look at it in detail when you get home, but all of the tools and all of the data that Dr. Williams gave me, this is what we came out with, this one-page logic model. So you can you can look at it and see where we're going.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. Just stay up here with me if you will. Thank you all. Stay right there. You sit right there if you like. Now listen to me. Here's where the whole thing comes to. The listening tour reveals 5 major themes. They are parenting, parental engagement, children, marriage, and family. May I say to you that all of these, to us as pastors, are holy unto God. All of these are capsulized under one entity that is extremely holy, and that is the home. The home is the first institution that God made. Before the church was the home. Before government was the home. Before school was the home. If together we as pastors across metropolitan Atlanta focus our attention on the home, from our pulpits and other entities that I'm wanting to bring out in just a moment, we stand an excellent chance of turning Black America around. It's not about the size of your church. It's not about how many are in there. It's about all of us expressing a sensitivity to our memberships about being concerned about the home. Instead of showing the next clip, let me save the time. When there is good parenting, our kids will stay in school. When there is good parenting, our kids will finish school. When there is good parenting, jobs will be made available. When there is good parenting, economic development follows. When there is good parenting, we lower crime rates. And all of that leads to productive citizenship. Why? Because as the home goes, so goes the street. As the street goes, so goes the neighborhood. As the neighborhood goes, so goes the city. As the city goes, so goes the county. As the county goes, so goes the state. As the state goes, so goes the nation. As the nation goes, so goes the world. Once again, what will A.A.C.T.S do? One of the things that we did on June the 1st through the 5th, I sent the executive pastor of our church, Leonard Perriman. Would you stand, Leonard? I sent him to an effective black parenting seminar. You may take your seat, thank you. It is a dynamic, culturally relevant skill-building program for raising proud and confident African-American children. We needed a curriculum. He has the curriculum almost ready so that we share it with certain people in our churches so that we can start at the same time across metropolitan Atlanta at the same time in all of our churches at the same time. Parental classes, teaching how to have a home, preaching. All of that comes when we finish this tour that we're on now. In August, I'll be going to Rockdale County as I am here. The first part of September, we'll be going to Clayton County. October, we will be in Gwinnett and in Cobb. When we finish, all of us pastors will meet. I would have then met with certain ones of us, gotten our structure in order so that we can move forward. I'm almost finished, ladies and gentlemen. In order for us to go forward now, this is what I need you to do today. We've got to increase our database. It does not make sense to come into this room and leave out, and we don't have no more than when we came in. We need you to take the forms that you have. Dr. Langley, come and show them how to do it and show them what needs to be done for preachers so they don't have to do all the work and our staff would do the rest. Share that with them. Take your time and guide them, Mary.
In your packet, you have a profile data. If you would take this out. Information is crucial in developing any type of collaborative. And so we are trying to build a database so that we can leverage and not duplicate and have the greatest impact. On the side you see, to designate whether you're a church, government agency, business, or other. The name of the institution, the address, and the name of the authorizing official, and the churches as the pastor, and the different agencies, you know who that is. Provide the title and the telephone number of that official, and the email address. The email address is crucial in this day.
Just 1 minute. Y'all talking too much now. Come on now. I'm gonna have you out at 1:35. Come on now. Give us the attention. Please. Go on, Mary.
In your packet, there's also a pen. The email address is very important. Now, contact information of the person that you would prefer that we contact, name, telephone number, and email address. Now, for the pastors, on the back of the form, we have the, whether or not you have any of these services or ministry. Now, if you don't want to fill this out or don't have that information, that is vital that we have the contact information of the person that the A.A.C.T staff can contact about this, which will tell us the programs that you might have, the target population, the frequency, and evaluation outcome. And let me just say, as I give this back to Reverend Williams, I've been in this business of working with faith communities, community-based organizations. I've been working on grants since 1985. The one thing I find is that you all have a lot of programs, a lot of services, but you don't take time to document. You don't take time to tell us what was the outcome of having those programs. So I want to encourage you to take the time to fill this out. If you don't know the information, to give us the contact information of the person that we can contact.
Thank you so much, Mary. If you all would do that for us. All right? Now, the financial breakout. Let me show you what has happened financially. All right, this, if you look on the screens, whichever side is convenient for you, you see the expenses, you see how much we have spent as it relates to our consultant fees. The consultant fee is high and all of that, but I needed it because I was moving out of my heart, and you've got to be able to move sometimes out of your head. You can't be emotional about it all the time. Sometimes you just got to have somebody who knows. You see that it totals to $45,000 that has been spent. Next sheet. That lists for us the administrative cost in terms of salary. I've had to have 2 different people working in order to make calls and all that goes along with that. It totals at the bottom here, $31,500 has been spent. That gives you the date that the checks were given to the persons who worked. Flip. Give me the next one, boy. This gives us the expenses of the total office products that have been spent, $1,462.57. Graphic cost, $464. Next. Expenses for the unit source, all the way up to $388.51. Precision graphic printers, $696. Flip. The total for tint, all of that, $211.43. We went to the Commerce Club on November the 19th, 2014. We spent for the luncheon $2,111.30. We had another meeting at our church. Ms. Talbot provided the food for us. We spent a total of $750 for that. Flip. I sent Leonard Perriman, as I just told you, to the workshop of the Black Parenting between June the 1st and June the 5th of this year, just last month. The conference registration was $1,145. He stayed in the hotel. The bill was $1,694.66. And we got the airfare of $277.20, totaling $3,116.86. So all of the money that A.A.C.T.S has spent up until today is $117,201.67. Now watch, I want you to see what we've raised. These are the donations that we have been the recipient of. When we were at the Commerce Club on the 19th of November 2014, I asked for an offering. They gave me $3,250. I preached for Dr. Watley at St. Philip's AME Church. He raised an offering and supplemented it and gave me a check for A.A.C.T.S for $3,000. I then had an A.A.C.T luncheon on the 7th, 2015. I raised in that offering $3,929. Reverend Terrence Curtis sent me a check in the mail for $50. Dr. Donald Battle sent me in the mail $100. Dr. Flippin at Greater Piney Grove Baptist Church gave me a check for $500. I preached the late night service of his National Baptist Convention and told them about A.A.C.T.S. They gave me an offering that night of $2,096.08. I went to the A.A.C.T.S luncheon offering that we had on the 8th of July of this month. They gave me $3,150 when I met with Fulton County. That's what we received. I went to Love Circle Center. They sent me a check of $100. I preached over at Green Forest. He gave me a check for $750. The Friendship Community Church, headed by Dr. Donald Bryant, sent me a check in mail for $3,000. We have raised $19,025.08. Flip it. So the total expenses of what we have spent is $117,201.67. The amount of money that I have raised is $19,925.08. The difference is $97,276.59. Now, what am I asking you for? I'm asking you for an offering. Amen. Listen to me now. Not an offering to give me back the $97,276.59. That money I took from my church and from myself. I don't want the money back, but I need money so that A.A.C.T.S can move forward. See, we need to hire experts, fundraisers, all kinds of experts that can come in and tell us what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't. In order for us to make it, we in this room, pastors, we've got to make it. I don't know how to do these things. I don't know anything about technical school, and I don't know nothing about that. All I got is a heart to do for what I see is a need. And I know you know as well as I do that we need to do something about our race. I envision across Atlanta at the same time, we got a day for parenting. We're all teaching our parents how to parent. I see in my mind how it is that we can change things. We got sermons. I get to a point I'm willing to share every sermon I got on the home, on the family, and all us preaching the same Sundays on family, on home. I see it. The key to our success is in one word: together. Let me show you a great lesson of togetherness, if you will. Come on, boy.
Creatures that were once living on the forest floor now need to find other ways of getting around during the flood. The busy life of a fire ant colony has to carry on regardless.
Stop. They have just been destroyed. This ant colony has just been destroyed. But they're moving on. Look at what they do. Roll it.
By linking legs, the worker ants create a living raft, supported by the surface tension of the water.
By linking legs, stop. By linking legs, they create a floating raft. By linking legs, by coming together, they create a floating raft. Roll it.
Free now to move through the forest, these vicious stingers make the most of the flood. They use it to spread to other parts of the Amazon. On this lifeboat, the Queen and her young need to be kept safe and dry.
Stop! On this lifeboat, the Queen and the babies need to be kept dry. In other words, they are looking out for the women and the children. You understand? Roll it.
But there's no getting away from hungry fish.
Stop. There's no getting away from hungry fish. In other words, there's no getting away with stuff happening in our community. It's gonna be. Hungry fish gonna come and take away some more of our babies, our children. But when it bites, they don't quit. Look at what they do. Roll it.
Once in the open river, they are at the mercy of the current and unpredictable waves. If they are lucky enough to hit land, the soggy ants disentangle and disembark, unloading the family as they go.
Stop! If they're lucky to make it to land, the first thing they look out for is the mother and the babies. We don't know what tonight's news is going to be. It could be in another city. Could be in DeKalb, some part of Atlanta. But the key is in staying together. Last time, boy, roll it.
After a little toweling off, the worker ants soldier on, carefully guiding their queen to safety.
Thank you. You have a commitment sheet there in front of you. I'd like for you to take that and we're out of here. There should be an envelope on the inside. Here it is. They're passing you the commitment sheets. Thank you, Bishop. Every dime, every penny that has been given to A.A.C.T.S up to this point is in the bank. We have not written one check for anything. All the checks that have been written for A.A.C.T.S have come from our church. What you do for it will allow it to go forward. What you do for it will allow it to go forward. If you'd like to give an offering today, I would want an offering from you today. That sheet that you're filling out is a commitment. You determine how you want to do that. The 1,000, the 500, the 2,000 per month, whatever way you do that. One-time gift, that's up to you. You determine that. If you have credit cards and you don't have the cash and you want credit card, it's on the envelope. Just fill out the information. The credit card will be taken care of
Write checks payable to A.A.C.T.S as the Lord lays on your heart. If you don't have any money, that's all right. Just the fact that you are here means everything to me. One day you may not be broke, and you may think well of what we're trying to do. Hey, Martin, glad to see you, Doctor. We got 3 minutes before it'll be 1:35. Thank you. Thank you all. It's been quite a day. Thank you all. If you're not too sure about me and my motives, do as you're led with your spirit. We must go on. While you're writing and all, anybody want to say anything? Stand up and say whatever you like. Want to ask a question? Feel free. I will write you through the information that you're giving here and let you know what happened the next place I go to keep you updated, so you'll know the progress. And then when all of the 6 counties have been met, we'll have our preacher meeting with no government, nobody but pastors, where we do our thing our way. How I'm talking, preachers? Good. No government, nobody but us. Just as soon, hey, Dennis Mitchell, just as soon as I finish the tour, I have not gotten Gwinnett County scheduled yet, nor have I gotten Cobb. I've gotten Rockdale and Clayton. I know those dates. So as soon as we finish the other 2, then we'll be ready, and I'll be writing you, letting you know what happens in the others as I come to them, and you'll know. Good question. Thank you, Dr. Dennis. Yes, sir, Dr. Flippin.
Dr. Williams, God bless you. Thank God for what you've done. Many of us have been with you from the beginning. And
Yes, you have.
Greatly needed. In the zip code where I pastor, it is the highest teenage HIV rate in Georgia.
Wow.
And, but at the same time, is there something that your office could prepare, 3 to 5 minutes, get it to every church that we can play during our announcement period? And I promise you, every pastor in this church, after our members see it, will raise to $1,000 or more, and that will liquidate that almost $100,000 debt.
Yes, sir. Well, I intend to do just something like that. But Flip, you know as well as I do, timing can be sometimes more important than time itself. So as soon as we make all the rounds, everybody know where we are, that's certainly on the altar. Reverend, thank you for that. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Is that Paula? Tanya, yeah, Tanya, okay.
Is there a website for the,
For A.A.C.T.S, we're getting ready to do the website for A.A.C.T.S, but for now, it's all linked to the Jasper Williams ministry. Thank you for that, Tanya. Anybody? Yes, ma'am. Shh.
Is there a role for young clergy who may not be pastoring a church but do want to get involved in this initiative?
Not right now, it's not. Thank you for the thought. Right now, it's pastors, and the reason why it's pastors is because they have the people, and that's who we're trying to touch at this point. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Pastor Williams,
Dr. Edmondson, my husband's here. I just want to thank you for the invite, and I do give honor to God and all the other clergy and everyone here. I just want to thank you. I really want to thank you because it's about time. We all in this room know that we need this. You're just like the rest of us. We look around. We might live in our big houses, but we never know if we're going to have uninvited guests at any time at our doors. And it's high time that we pull together with you with this program. New Jerusalem supports you 100%.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I hope other churches get with you because we need to support you to help us to live.
Thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you. I'll take one more, and then somebody's going to pray. All right? Yes, sir. Would you stand? If I see a hand, but I don't. Would you stand?
Pastor Wheat.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, Pastor Lewis, Old Baptist Church.
Yes, sir. I did call you.
So glad to be here representing People's Town. We're going to do everything we can. With membership of maybe 300 members, but I'm going to commit to $1,000.
Thank you so very much, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now, if y'all would write those things down, do you have the information for the data? Do you have that, brethren? Yes? All right. Do you have your commitment sheets? Yes? Do you have your offering? Yes? Everybody who's giving an offering, lift your hand. Let me see. Oh, God bless you. Thank you so very much. Now, Terrence, would you all collect the offering for us, please, with the can that's got the lock on it? Thank you all so much. If y'all would just come and put your offering right here. Open it up. Anybody who's coming to give the offering, just come right on. Thank you all so much. You'll know how much this is. Shh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all. Thank you all so very much. We're set up in the lobby for you to ask. They're going to ask you one question. What do you think? What is the question, Boyd? What's the question, Mary, about what do you think about A.C.T.S? Yeah, what do you think about A.C.T.S on your way out? Just say that on your way, and we can put that on the television and on our telecast. Thank you so very much, officer. Thank you all kindly. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. Now I want somebody to come down here who know how to call on the Lord. Who? Thank you. Thank you so much. Who's going to do that for me? Who's going to pray the prayer for me? The closing prayer, asking the Lord to be with us. Who'll do that, Pastor? Jesus keep. Government, you don't have to sing. Me near. Come on, brethren. The cross. Then there's a precious fountain free to all I yield. Thank you, Doug. Then flows from Calvary's mount. Keep me near. I know y'all know that. Oh, near. Be my glory ever till my raptured soul shall Rest beyond the river. God bless you, Tanya. Bishop Martin.
Oh God, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you for this gathering today. We thank you, oh God, for the purpose.
Lord have mercy.
Lord, we ask in your name that this meeting will go out. Those of us who are here will go out and spread the word. That we as black churches, black church leaders are planning to clean up the homes, to make the homes prepared, to prepare the homes so that they can serve their children. We ask, oh God, that you bless every parent in the county of DeKalb. We ask, oh God, in your mighty name, you bless every official in this county. Let them all become obsessed with A.A.C.T.S. Let them become obsessed with A.A.C.T.S. so that we will constantly labor toward the upbuilding of this beautiful program. Bless Dr. Williams, oh God. Bless his endeavor as we all work with him and work side by side with him to make this a greater community. In your name we pray. Amen and amen.
Everybody say, everybody say, everybody say,